All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol GE General Electric Co. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back. And before I jump into this chart, I do want to announce and say thank you to the viewer and subscriber that actually requested this. I try to do requests as much as I can. It's a little bit hard for me when I'm one guy and there's many different ticker symbols in the market. But when I can do a request, I like to, so that I can go ahead and fulfill that need. And also, there's probably several other investors and viewers looking for a video like this one that can probably help them. So I really appreciate that when investors and viewers are actually taking the time to watch videos and also request what may help them and also help others. So I'm really excited to go ahead and do this one. And I want to talk about some things here about GE before we look at GE in a much more obviously narrowed way, because we're going to look at it very closely and then we're going to look at it a little bit broader. So as we saw here throughout the year, it fell down, it's picked back up, and it hit almost $8 and some change. It fell down to about $5.40 and some change, or $5.50, and then it rode up again to $8.50, 50 and some change. So from that point forward, it's fallen. So this is actually one of the most important numbers that the bulls are going to want to break through, this point right here. And then I noticed that around $5, almost $6, it fell, and then it fell a little bit harder down to like $5.90. And since that point, it's actually ran up and it's hit newer highs, and it's been dipping in a sideways direction, and then now it's running up again. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit too, what's been going on here in the last couple of months and what I see here in the chart that is really standing out to me. But $8.50 is a really pivotal number right now for the bulls, for this to hit newer highs. And I've noticed that there's been a support formed at around $5 and some change. So as long as it doesn't break through $5.50, this might not see any newer lows, but this is really hanging out in a sideways direction. I mean, if you look at it, it ran up, it fell down, and since around June, it's just been pretty sideways. And yes, it's jumped up, it's jumped down, but it's been in the same channel when you think about it for about some time now. And right now, something that's standing out to me is that in this channel that it has, which is up here close to around $7.20, and they haven't been able to break through, there was a rejection way down here at 708, and that number needs to be broken through now in the near term for this to hit newer highs. But it got rejected, and it didn't even reach these other higher points that was touched earlier in the year twice. Now, another thing too, the lows here were pretty close. It's between $6 to $5.90, and it's brought itself back up. So there's a support form down here around $5.90 right now, and if it breaks through it, the next one's $5.50. But I'm going to point out now what I see very interesting in the chart in the last 3 months. So something I'm seeing is that it's jumped up really quickly and it's fallen. So it did it here back at the beginning of August. Then it did it again towards the end of September, right? Whoa, that was a bad circle. Towards the end of September. And then now where we're at, it's actually doing another spike again. But the one thing I'm noticing a little bit different is that it's not falling back down fairly quickly. If anything, it's in a sideways direction. Now the bulls need to hold up and stay above the 50-day moving average so this can continue in an upward trend. And then another thing too, if the bears do decide to appear, excuse me for that, decide to appear, then this could resemble what we're seeing here, or what we were seeing here. Obviously this one was a little bit quicker, but something more like this one. Now another thing too, it's in a sideways direction right now, and it rode up and then it went sideways, and we clearly saw that nearly here around the end of August, really like the last couple of days of August. So yeah, it ran up, it went sideways, and then it quickly fell. So there's a lot of volatility here. I mean, when you look at it in the last 3 months, it's just been like this. That's pretty wild volatility, up and down. I mean, it's jumping around from, $7 down to $5, and then it jumps from like $6 to $5 and so forth. So I want to and tell every single investor that is in this or plans on being in this to pay very close attention to these numbers and what's going on, and if this is going to act or behave like it has in the past. And honestly, it hasn't been able to break that $8 mark, $8.50, to reach newer highs, and the lowest is $5.50. So you're only $1.36 away from the lowest point that this reached, but from the highest point, you're almost $2 away. It's actually $1.70 something cents. So it's a lot further from the highest point than from the lowest point. And that's something to keep in mind. Now, I'm not saying that this won't continue to run and so forth. I've heard a lot of great news and articles on it, but I'd be very cautious on this one because a lot of people are rating it a buy, but how long of a rating is that buy? Like, is that buy like a rating for a couple weeks, a couple months, the rest of the year, a couple days? Because the volatility here is showing due to the fact that after it hit that peak that it just recently hit in the $7 range and it wasn't able to break through it, it's been in a channel here in a sideways direction, up and down, and the tug of war, you can see it between the 50-day moving average being above it and falling below it and now being above it. So the highest point here is 709. The bulls need to break through that to hit newer highs. All right, let's look here at what the resistance level is for tomorrow. So the most important thing here is 688. The bulls need to break through that. This momentum here that's been created, the bulls need to break through that and turn that into a support so they can start to reach newer highs and newer levels of resistance and move further away from the 50-day moving average and in upward direction. Super important for the bulls. They need to break through 688, turn that into a support so they can run up and hit newer highs. On the other hand, we have what the bears want. And the bears, if they accomplish this, they can break through the 50-day moving average, and then they're on their way down to the lowest point before the bulls reappeared, and that is 662. If the bears tear through that, this is a confirmation that it's in bearish territory and to stay in bearish territory because of the fact that if it breaks through the 50-day moving average, which is 677, the bears have already started to gain control, and by breaking through this support, it's moving further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction, and it's the lowest point reached after this run and in this sideways direction that it's been going. So if 662 does get broken through, this will start to see newer lows and newer support levels. So I'd pay very close attention to how this stock is reacting before it breaks through 677. And if I wait as an investor and 677 is too close to what I'm willing to wait for as an investor, then I'd pay very close attention to how quickly it's moving from 677 to 662. And if it breaks through 662, I want to emphasize to every investor, pay very close attention to the behavior of this stock before it starts to hit newer lows and newer support levels. Again, the bulls need to break through 688 so that this can move further away from the 50-day moving average of 677 to go ahead and hit newer highs and newer resistance levels, and for the bulls to maintain this momentum. They need to break through 688. As always, I hope that with this information and these cues, you guys are well equipped to make your own rational decisions. If you're a first-time viewer and investor and feel inclined to subscribe, please do so. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.